Hello everybody, welcome to the Betway Summer Cup of 2023. We're right here in one of the most important places as far as Saturday is concerned, in the parade ring, where the big guns are going to be here. The champions of the turf are going to be circling around in front of what's going to be a fantastic atmosphere with a great vibe. Weather-wise, it's beautiful. This is Wednesday night that we're recording the show. Beautiful, and the forecast show for a fantastic week into the weekend as well. Well, I've got some great guests with me. Betway, naturally, Jonathan Blumberg, Head of Customer Experience, who's right here with us. Jonathan, it's fantastic to be part of this great journey with you.
Thanks, Clyde. Lovely to be here with these esteemed gentlemen, and great for Betway to be part of it for the second year.
Mike of the Kock here too. He's won a number of Summer Cups in his time, and Mike, you've seen the very, very best in your lifetime. It's a solid field this year.
Yes, competitive. Obviously, the weights as they are, I think, down to about number, where are we at? I think about, number 12. 12 onwards are a few pounds out at the weights, but 11 horses that are solidly in at the weights.
Yeah.
So it's going to slightly fancy those top 12. But good field. I don't think really there's much left out, really, except visitors. So it's very nice to have Winchester Mansion, the July winner. Yeah, that's huge for us at the Summer Cup for sure. But I don't know how people leave 5 million on the table and sit at home and watch it.
Yeah, that was a great announcement when Betway made it, that they put the 5 million rand up this year as well. Gabriel Soma's here too. He, of course, is head of racing operations for racing. Gabriel, you're going to be very excited, I'm sure, about the weekend and the plans ahead, because there's been a lot of work that you've put in here.
Very much so, Clyde. It's been an incredible experience leading up to Saturday. There's been massive amounts of work from our side and from Betway's side to get the day to where it needs to be. We are really confident that it's going to be one of the most phenomenal days of racing you would experience, and really looking forward to the day.
It's our premier event, and it's our Group 1, and we were talking earlier, and you said that the bottom weight 54 for the last couple of years, the reasons naturally related to the Asian Patent Committee, etc., to make sure we can sustain that kind of status, correct?
That's correct, Clyde. So this was changed 2 years ago, if I'm not mistaken, and exactly that reason is that the Summer Cup was struggling to maintain the rating required for it to remain at a Grade 1. So by reducing the weights to 60-54, it allowed your better horses to compete, and it actually worked. I mean, there was a year where we got, I think, Summer Pudding in the race, got the green light, and Malmoose. But the scary thing is, it's been at that for 2 years, and horses that have been out at the weights have actually done really well. So Mike is correct when he says that it does favour the top horses, but the two runnings that we've seen has favoured horses that are out at the weights.
Unreal. Well, here's the magnificent trophy. I mean, this goes back 100, what is it, 137, 100, something number of years, the Summer Cup. The most beautiful trophy you've seen. And Sean Tarry, one of our champion trainers. Sean, you've lifted this a few times.
Yeah, I have. Fortunately, I was a bit stronger in those days, but we've been at the gym the last few weeks, so hopefully we get a chance to lift it again.
The few that you won, I mean, I'm sure they all at the end of the day were just great moments. Was there one particular one that was so special?
No, but Clyde, they were all horses that snuck in at the right handicap, lower down in the weights, and it was always the game plan. But the few kilos that they've taken away, it does make a difference. Definitely helps those horses, middle to top horses. You're not giving away that extra weight, and makes a difference. So tightening up the weights, I think, gives the better horses a chance.
Okay, so just to go back to Jonathan, I want to talk to him about this is Betway's day at the end of it all, and they're naturally offering some great specials as well. If you're not a Betway customer yet, you need to ask yourself, why haven't you opened your account? It's been going on for a while now, and there are some very fancy specials at the moment.
There are, Clyde. There's a couple of different markets, obviously, on how far horses may win and the age, etc., etc. But there's a great opportunity for customers to opt in and predict the quartet and win a share of R500,000 rand as well.
Fantastic. There's cash given away on course on Saturday?
No cash. We just seem to give it away in accounts all the time.
I see that all the time. A great 6% as an initiative that you with a tax story, your totes, you're paying the bookmaking tax. It's outstanding.
That's here to stay. right now. Why wouldn't you want 6% more, or not to pay the 6%? And why wouldn't you want to percent 6%, of your total turnover in cash? There's a lot you can do with that 6%. It adds up.
Whilst I'm with you, I want to start with the bottom end of your market that you've got at the moment, and Lady of Power is one of them. And one of the owners they were saying, we're just so happy to have a ticket and have a run. They're not particularly bullish about anything, but and this is the thing about owners and connections, is they just want a ticket.
Yeah, so great bunch of guys, and you're 100% right. You got to be proud when you get a horse into a Group 1 race on a day like the day, and just to be part of it.
Let me talk to Mike about, can I talk to you about second base? This horse has had some pretty good form. I mean, you go back to that Champions Challenge run at Shorthead to Portamenzano, the Hollywood Bets Durban July run wasn't a bad run at all. Perhaps put a line through the run. The horse is 80-1 or something like that. Would you give it any sort of chance, Michael, this year?
Well, I mean, on the Portamenzano run, you have to, but you remember that he gets a £16 penalty from that run. And has ran in 2 handicaps subsequently, and obviously he's not defying the penalty. So he's struggling with that penalty. I know he's had some ordinary draws, let's face it, in his last 2 or 3. It's third run after arrest here, but again, we're coming down to handicap terms, and he got hammered for running second in well, look, it was a weight for age race, so you go into those races knowing what's coming your way if you run well, and quite rightly so got the 16 pounds, but it has been struggling to defy that.
Yeah, that's a very important factor. Ultimately, that's what the penalties are there to do, is to make you competitive at the end of the day and keep you sort of in line with everything else. Gabriel, Soma, may I just ask you about Meridius? Will this all stay? I just want to question the going the extra.
Clyde, I actually do think he will stay. His running style suggests that. And of the horses in the Charity Mile, he is one of the horses that were quite unlucky in running. He had to race 3 wide the whole way. And at the price that he is, there is some value in it, because if he does stay, which I think he will, he's not far off some of the fancied horses here.
Royal Victory, Sean, let's chat about that, because that's the next best. Just by the way, Meridius, if you don't know, is 80-1. Royal Victory is 66-1 at the moment. And he's run very good races at Turffontein at the end of the day. He puts in a bold showing, he's got ability. And from a quartet perspective, perhaps, Sean, would you? I know the guys, there are a couple that actually fancy and say, listen, this horse may just have a chance.
Listen, there's a few 4-year-olds that met him last year that he ran really close to that are carrying a lot more weight. And from that point of view, he's not badly handicapped. I just, this is a tough 2000, and I really like him as a horse, but I thought he's a decent miler, and obviously Gravel 1900 he won is an easier course. So I just wonder, will he get a true run 2,000 metres on this course?
Yeah, there's a school of thought about that too. Does he stay or not? Michael, I just want to come to Mike de Kock and just talk about, you had this horse, well, he's been in and out of the stable, etc. Is he around is he with you at the moment?
No. Nate's had him in Durban now. Okay. He was here for the classic season last year.
And you know him. I mean,
yeah, he is a very good horse. I always thought when he got beat in the 1800 year that at the time he just looked stretched. I thought he had every chance. I think did Anfield's Rocket win that?
Yeah.
Yes.
In the Group 1, yeah. He just looked stretched at that time. Again, like Sean, indicated, Gravel 1900, Turffontein 2000. It's not the same animal.
Yeah.
They're 2 completely different courses and tougher tests.
Okay.
That would be against him, in my opinion, is the trip.
That's food for thought at the end of the day, that punters will take that into account. Whilst we're on that, the next in the market is this horse of yours, of course, East Coast, who's as big as 66-1. I know you'll be taking some of that. I mean, I was blown away by his last start. He took off absolutely, the closing stages, flying at them at the finish, and you must have been very impressed with that run.
Good run, very good run. Given just about no chance in running, kicked on really, really well. I never had this horse right from the Dingons. We always had problems all the way through Durban. We eventually pulled the plug. And he's getting beaten 4.5, 6.5 by Seediger and Charles Dickens, when I can tell you he wasn't anywhere near the horse I have now. He's starting to come back to that early form. Him and Schumacher for that matter, were both just, every time they ran, the next day you scoped them, they were just full of pus. We just were struggling, absolutely struggling with them. Two different horses today, and I like his last run. I think he could turn the tables with most of the horses he ran with last time.
Oh, that's great news. Punters would love to hear that. East Coast has never been better at the end of the day. Jonathan, I know you got a big book with him, perhaps in your personal capacity, because I know you like him.
I do like him, Clyde. I think there's a lot in his favour. I love the prep. I hated the ride last time. I love the draw. I just can't believe this horse is that type of price. 100% going to be finishing. There's just so much to like about it.
Gabriel, your view on this horse?
Clyde, so I would like to actually have a bet. The way these two gentlemen have spoken, that this horse is going to start closer to 20 to 1 than 66 to 1. But let me tell you something, he's a massive runner. I've said it before, there's two major lead-up races into the Summer Cup. It's your Charity Mile and your Victory Moon. And punters need to make a decision as to which form line they want to follow. I'm personally going with the Victory Moon form line, because I believe those horses have had a good prep into the race. And on collateral form lines, I think they hold the Charity Mile form. In the Victory Moon itself, East Coast was the unlucky horse in the race. He raced 3 wide the whole way. And for those punters that don't know, racing 3 wide at Turffontein is an absolute nightmare. It's almost impossible to win from that. And the fact that he finished the race off was really impressive. He has his 3rd run after arrest, and there's no doubt this is the value bet in the Summer Cup, Betway Summer Cup.
Excellent. You heard Mark say also, Gabriel, that Shoemaker's very well. You know, because he was one of those that just, you know, he hasn't been, but now he's well, this horse. And
So
I personally think Shoemaker's a massive runner.
Listen, he's definitely a horse that has ability. We know about that. We can see it on his earlier form. Unfortunately, as a form studier, one thing I don't enjoy seeing is a horse coming in with a 2nd run after arrest, especially when it's coming into 2,000 metres at Turffontein. He ran a really good race last time. But the two things that put me off is 2nd run after arrest and the fact that he comes out of the Charity Mile and not the Victory Moon, and I've explained why with East Coast. So I'm a Victory Moon racehorse.
Sean, those two form lines that Gabriel's referring to, you've looked at them. What's your view on them? Charity Mile, Victory Moon?
I think Gabby's taken a position like it's chalk and cheese and black and white. So, yeah, I don't think it's as clear for me.
Sure.
In fact, obviously my big guns are from the other form line and they 2nd run. Yeah. So they're both close to the top of the board. So maybe Jono wants to stretch them a bit.
I saw you twitching when Gabriel was talking. So,
anyway, I mean, I've got litigation from the Victory Moon form line, and he's doing well, and I expect a nice run. But there are a few from the Victory Moon that I like, and obviously we've all gone on about East Coast. I agree, 100%. I like a little bit of Son of Raj. Obviously a hard draw. If they've got the guts to go forward. This horse, Derby and Derby Trial, very good wins from up handy, and he's got a big turnabout at the weights. 5.5 kilos better off with most of the horses that were in front of him.
Right.
I just think he's a big runner, and obviously you've also got to, from that form line, I think you've got to respect Brett's horse. What is it? Billy Bowlegs.
Yeah,
I know I've jumped the gun.
Okay. I saw the Malwings at the draw, and I said to them, Son of Raj, a massive runner to have, and unfortunately that draw popped out at the end of the day. But they'll have enough time, hopefully, on the back stretch. So certainly got to have some sort of claim. So we just want to talk about a couple more, then we're going to take a break. And the next on our list that we want to chat about, or the next couple anyway, Aragosta and Bingo. Let me just talk to Jonathan. I'll come back to you and let's chat about Aragosta. Ability-wise, when he wants to turn on the engine, there are a few that can go with his horse.
Yeah, listen, Larry, great guy. JJ, unbelievable, a whole bunch of guys, but
not for you.
Yeah, hard pressed to find anything redeeming here outside of a one draw.
I could hear Bingo. Does it still a 2,000 worry?
No, also just not an inclusion for me.
Aragosta, Michael?
He's coming off a wind up. I mean, if he ran 3rd in this race last year, am I correct? In saying that. And that was, you know, I think he's a little better off at the weights now than he was then. But I've been under the pump just in terms of fitness, because he had a wind up straight after the Gold Cup, which we've been threatening to do for a good few months. His wind is beautiful. He's really breathing really well, but we've been behind the 8 ball in terms of fitness. But if one goes back to his Victory Moon last year, he runs 8.75 off litigation and bounces back to 1.4. He does well with a run, which looks a poor run, because he's quite a lazy horse in work, and then he bounces back. He definitely, I would love to have had another run with this horse.
Yeah,
I've got to say that there's a question mark on his prep, but certainly on his ability and his handicap rating. If all things had gone well, he'd be a quite fancy.
no, I'm sure about that. There's no, that horse has got an engine second to none. Gabriel, let's sum up Aragosta, just a view from you, and touch on Bingwa for us as well.
No problem. Aragosta, Clyde, I think second run after rest. I've mentioned that I don't like it. I don't think it's a good enough prep to win a Summer Cup, and I think we're here to try and find the winner of the Summer Cup. I'm concerned that he is drawn 1, and usually for me, draw 1 is your absolute best draw, because I'm not sure he has the gate speed to hold position. So I'm going to pass Aragosta by, but I wouldn't be surprised if it is a far better run than what he had in the Victory Moon. Bingwa, on the other hand, has had a beautiful prep into the Summer Cup. He's now going to have his 4th run into the Summer Cup, so he's one of the fitter horses. He hasn't tried the distance for a long time. When he did try the distance, it was in the Summer Cup where it was quite heavy going, so I think you can put a line through it. Okay. I see no reason as to why he can't stay, and off a good draw of 3, he's a type of horse that can make the quartet pay, so I would include him in your quartet.
Okay, interesting, because I wasn't sure that he does go 2,000, but okay. There's the answer from Gabriel. And Sean, just your take on Aragosta and Bingwa, those two horses?
Aragosta, obviously listening to Mark, the run's coming quite soon. He would have needed a bit more time, but you can't question this horse's class earlier on. And the fact that the horse needed a wind up explains why the horse went off form. So, yeah, he's definitely a quality horse, but maybe it's coming too soon.
Yeah. Bingwa, you give any sort of chance to Sean yourself?
You know, when in doubt, path fork over 2,000, not my game. I'd rather have them over a mile.
All right. Well, that's our part 1 of the Betway Summer Cup for now. Thanks, everybody, for watching. We're going to take a couple of commercials, and we'll be back just after this.